Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. As always, I'm your host, Litecoin Leader. Today, we're talking a little bit more about ALTCOINopoly. It's still July. There's still a couple weeks to go, and there's still 5 more coins to give out for the rest of the month before the contest closes. So today's the first of those 5 coins. There's going to be 3 free coins yet to come, and then 2 more that are just for subscribers only. So if you haven't subscribed yet to LitecoinLeader.com, I strongly suggest that you do so, because then you'll be eligible for the August winner to be drawn and win a trip to the Myrtle Beach meetup. That will happen sometime between Labor Day and probably Thanksgiving. So we have an interesting coin to talk about today. It's an interesting project. It's been in the top 50 since 2018, but has been around since 2014 under a different name until they rebranded in 2017. So it's an interesting coin. It's out of Asia. It's a platform coin. It's a little controversial to talk about this one because of where it's based from, but it's an interesting project. So to find out which project it is, stay tuned and be sure to join us over at LitecoinLeader.com to be eligible for the contest.
Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research. Once again, we start with the bare ALTCOINopoly board so we can see where this particular piece for today goes. We are going to be in zone 3 today, which is the top of the board, and those are platform coins. And this coin, again, it's been around for a while. It's been rebranded, but it's been the top 100 for a very long time. And that coin is based out of Asia, and it's a very interesting project called NEO. And it was originally called Ant shares, but we'll go into that a little bit more in the details and the history of it. But the coin today is NEO. It goes in the top, the third space from the left. It's a platform coin that has a number of different apps that are being decentralized apps or dApps that are being built on top of it. And it's an intriguing project, and it's gotten a new lease on life with its Generation 3 platform that's just getting released. So as we dig more into this coin, keep in mind, this is where this piece goes. Be sure to write it down on your board so you have it when you submit it next month for the contest. So let's talk about NEO. What is it? How did it start? How did it come to be? Where are we at with it today? What does it do? So NEO originally started back in 2014 as a project called Ant shares. And Ant shares had been around for a couple of years, then it rebranded in 2017 to become the project known today as NEO. So before I go into the details of what NEO is trying to accomplish and what purposes it serves, let me first go over some of the sources that I used. And as you can imagine, I started with YouTube. So I had 4 videos that I predominantly focused on. The first one was from, I was looking at it, was the one from Exodus. And the second video from Dustin talking about the block card projects and the brief tutorials that he does. But the 2 main videos that I focused on predominantly are from Coin Bureau. But the problem I had with this video, and just focused solely on it, was that it was 2 years old. It goes back to October 2019. Again, there's not a lot of good research out there for NEO right now. But one of the good videos that I really found was from CryptoBud. So CryptoBud has been making videos for a number of years, and he has strong ties to the Asian community. And he focuses a lot on projects from there, in general as well. But he has some unique insights into the Asian market. So he covered this project very, very well in this video. And I would say this is the strongest video to watch of these series. And it being only 10 minutes long, you will get a good amount of content from it. So between this and Coin Bureau, that's pretty much where I would go and focus if you want to do some further information and learn about it. And of course, I'll include these videos linked in the description. So, NEO, what is it? Why do we care? NEO is considered, for better or worse, the Chinese Ethereum. So, that label has positive and negative connotations. Of course, lots of people in the Western world are concerned about anything Chinese, but it is a platform coin and it can be built upon much like the Ethereum platform. So, I will go over my opinion of this later on, but I think that we need to look at crypto as a global marketplace and get exposure to all different markets throughout the globe. So let's talk about NEO and what it's doing and what it's been doing since its inception. So the main focus right now for the NEO team is the N3 project, which just launched a couple months ago. And I'm going to walk through all the different things that it contributes. But NEO is essentially a platform coin where other dApps and developers can develop their own applications on the Neo platform and launch them there. But it's also an ecosystem. Now, I talk a lot about ecosystems and platforms. I think that's a great way to get exposure to a number of projects for the price of one coin, and Neo presents that opportunity. So walking through just looking at Neo, we have the timeline that they provide for the history of the project. You can see if you go all the way back to the beginning, you can see that goes all the way back to 2014 when the project was first launched by the two founders, and then in June of 2017 it became Neo, rebranding from Ant Shares. And there's been lots of development on the project, but the launch of N3 has really expedited a lot of development on the production timeline, and especially in 2020 and 2021, including their working with the Poly network. The real meat and potatoes of the website happens on their tour. So if you start with their basic tour, which can be found at this website here, you just take the tour and just see all the different components of N3. So at first we start with multi-language support. What does that mean? It means that developers can write code to develop their apps in multiple languages. You don't have to go and learn Solidity, which only works with Ethereum. You can use C, C#, Java, all these different languages that are out there for writing computer programs can be written to write apps. That opens the world up to multiple developers, a large volume of developers who already know those languages, which are very common, as opposed to the very specific Solidity language for Ethereum. So that's been supported for a while, and they keep expanding upon that. Next is decentralized storage. This is competing with the likes of SIA or Filecoin. Neo offers NeoFS, which provides file storage in their ecosystem. Another big plus. They're also building their own native Oracle, so when they start working in the DeFi sector and working where you need price information and external information to the blockchain, they will have their own Oracle, as opposed to relying on something like Chainlink. Self-sovereign identity. That means that the platform can have your own digital ID, medical records, wallet information, personal information. All those different information can be kept on the blockchain and unique to yourself so that you can keep it stored. Again, this competes with things that Digibyte is doing and other projects are doing for identification. Again, Neo is building their own ecosystem to include all these features. Domain name service. When you write a dApp, you can now register a .neo domain name, so you can have a human-readable website, and it'll be decentralized on the blockchain, similar to what Zilliqa does with their .crypto and .zil pages. Advanced interoperability. Big word, not easy to say, but all this means is that they are working to work with different blockchains to be cross-compatible. So Neo will work with the Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum, I don't recognize all of these, but that's Elrond, that's Zilliqa, and so on. So they're working with a Poly network team since last year to create these standards to work across different blockchains, so you can have that interoperability. Similar to what Polkadot's doing or Atom on Cosmos. So a lot of projects are working towards this, and that seems to be the next major hurdle for the crypto space and platforms. Neo has a very cutting-edge consensus mechanism, and they can do it in one block, which not many projects can do. Zilliqa can do it, a few others can do it, but Neo is one of the first to design the DBFT consensus mechanism. It was originally unique to them, but others have adopted it because Neo's open source and it's decentralized, so anyone can copy or mimic their code and use it for their own projects. So DBFT, I'm not going to go into the details of what that is. It's decentralized Byzantine fault tolerance. Again, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you're more than happy to do that. You can look up DBFT, and it's further reading is here on their website, and you can look on YouTube to get a better understanding of it. But just know that it is a consensus mechanism that allows you to settle transactions in one block, and it has been adopted by other blockchains since Neo launched it. So that just shows that the community says this is a good protocol, and they're developing on it further with other projects. The dual token model. So Neo has two tokens. You have Neo and Neo Gas. similar to Ethereum, where they have their gas. VeChain has VeThor, or Theta and Theta Fuel. So NeoGas affords people, NeoGas is meant for transactional costs. So it's very similar to T-Fuel for the Theta project. Neo also has their own wallet called the Neon wallet, where you can keep all of your Neo coins, your gas coins, and other Neo-based projects in that wallet. And if you keep your Neo in the Neon wallet, it will generate gas for you, which is another way to earn rewards and also have the exposure to a secondary coin for this project. They were one of the first to adopt a secondary coin format. So that was again, their leading thoughts, cutting edge, and that led to Theta, VeChain, and to adopt similar mechanisms. And the last main bullet from their tour is the tools. They have lots of tools for developers to develop their apps. There's lots of projects that are developing apps on Neo, and we'll take a look at those in a minute. So a little bit further on the website, the technology, that you have the a few more details about everything, about some of the things that were on the tour. So you can see again that it's a smart contract based platform. There's the Neo file storage. So there's smart contracts, Neo file storage, Neo ID, the Oracle, the Neo name service, the protocol to set up in one transaction or one block, the interoperability, which is the Poly network, and also developers. They have a lot of developers. So the dApps, these are the dApps that are currently on the project. Ontology used to be there, but Ontology has already moved off the blockchain into their own chain themselves, but they were originally launched there. And in fact, Neo owners originally received Ontology as an airdrop. I think that was in 2018. I don't think they do airdrops anymore, but they could in the future with owning Neo, which could always happen. So here's just 20 plus projects that are being worked on. Some of them are good. Some of them I mentioned before. So the last thing I want to touch on from the Neo news segment of this video is the governance. So Neo governance has a 2-level structure as well. There is the Neo Council, which used to be called the Neo Foundation. Some people just interchange those two names. I think it's presently called the Council. Formerly was the Foundation. But they work along with the Neo token holders to vote with the Council to decide on what they're going to do next. There is also the Neo Capital Development Project, or Neo Capital itself, which funds new projects. So the Council funds existing or already adopted projects to further them, and that's how Neo 3.0 came to be, while the Neo Capital provides liquidity and financing towards newer projects that are candidates to develop onto the Neo ecosystem. So there's plenty of reasons to like the Neo platform, get some exposure to different areas of the globe, lots of things going on from a technology standpoint, pretty cutting edge project. But how does the coin look on the charts? Let's take a look at that next. Time to look at some charts. So looking at Neo against Bitcoin and the US dollar will provide some interesting information. But before I do that, let's take a look at where Neo's been in the past and where it is today. So Neo right now is coin number 41 on the top 100 chart. Now looking back for all time, well not for all time, but looking back 3 years when Neo was pretty much at its low, 10, $11, it's been dancing around that before. But look, Neo was $11 back in 2019, November 2019, which is one of its low points. And it was still a top 20 coin. So Neo has been in the top 100 for a very long time. Now, if I go back to 2018, you see Neo, when it was $100, was coin number 11. So Neo's been in the top 50 coins or so for 3+ years. So looking at the charts, we're just trying to see how does Neo get back there. It's really been beaten up for a little while, but we think that this coin might be in a good position, not financial advice, to acquire, given that it's a top 100, even a top 50 coin. And that's just at a depressed altcoin spot. So let's look at the charts real quickly. We'll start with the Bitcoin chart. Now, this is pretty ugly. We can see that, it's come down. This is the year-to-date chart. Yes, I think it's year-to-date. So, yes, 2021, this is the chart against Bitcoin. And you can see that it's in a downtrend. Now, one thing I want to point out is that these areas here on this RSI chart, or the stochastic RSI, you don't need to know too much except that when you're below the purple line, it tends to go up. You can see here in this area, it was in a low point and then it trended up. Down here, it was in a low point and then it trended up. Here, there was a short trend up. This one didn't play out so as much, but this one pretty much trended up a little bit. So what I'm saying is that if you're going to hop into a coin and you find a low point on the RSI, which is really about as low as it gets, it's probably, if you like this project, this is a good entry level point. Now, zooming out, you can get a much better understanding of where we're at in the big picture. Here's the 5-year chart, and I have to zoom out even further to get a relative viewpoint of this. So this is the 5-year chart looking on a weekly basis. I've drawn a green line here at the top of where it was peaking pretty much in February of 2018, well over $100. Right now, being at 29, you can see that the relative price get compared to Bitcoin, we take a quick measurement, we can get an idea. Let's just say, what happens if it gets to similar prices against Bitcoin? We're looking at a 12 to 13x, 1300%. So right now, with NEO being about $30 a coin, 30 times, you're looking at 300 plus another 30, $400 a coin, potentially. So you're looking at potential 13x for a platform coin that's already in the top 50 and been established there for years. Going to the US dollar chart, I've drawn some other lines. This is the 1-year chart again. The prices, there we go, over 29.5. You can see the RSI is really low again. So it might be a great acquisition point. See, here's another example. Right here in April, in an uptrend, it was low, and then it went from 77 up to 120. So there's that potential here for a nice upside return. And the lines I've drawn in here are reasonable lines of resistance. The blue line, a lot of volume in the 40 to 50 range, and then again in the 50s and 60s. But once it clears the 60s, it's going to probably go up to 80 again, the bottom of this channel right here. So there's lots of upside potential for this coin. I'm going to zoom out. The one last point I want to point out, if you look at the weekly chart, going back all the way to 2018, you could, in theory, look at this as a giant cup and handle. Might be a bit of an exaggeration, but if that were to happen, I'm going to measure like the midpoint to a low. So let's say here. So, oops. If I measure from here to what I drew as the neckline, you're looking at a 16x potential from where it's at. So it's not unrealistic to see this coin certainly double, but a 3 to 15x, there are reasonable stories that can be built for this coin. So I think if you like NEO as a project and you think you want to be in this for the long haul, not financial advice, but this could be a solid acquisition point.
So that's the coin for today. It's NEO, formerly AntShares. It used to be called AntShares, but now it's NEO after the rebranding in 2017. It's been in the top 50 for a long, long time, but not many people talk about it. But it should get more traction and more understanding about it now that it's gone into NEO 3.0 and the platform is developing and there's more and more projects and dApps that are working on the project. So a lot of intrigue about this one. It is based in China, so there's concerns about that. But let's see where my rating falls before I give a quick summary of where I'm at on this coin.
Before we go into the rating for NEO today, we're just going to take one quick look at where it goes on the board. Once again, we're in Zone 3, which is the top of the board, and that is the platform coins. And NEO goes 3 spaces from the left, near the middle of the board. That's where NEO goes in the red section. And a quick review of the way we were doing the coin ratings. So the new coin rating system is scale 1 to 5, with 5 being the red hotel, and the rest being 1 through 4 houses, and with 1 being the weakest rating. So NEO. NEO is a solid platform with a lot of upside going forward, but it is an up and down mercurial coin to say the least. It is a tough one to track, tough one to rate, but I really like it as a platform, and I like the exposure over to in the Asia area. I know it's in China, so that gives me some pause too. But overall, I think it's reasonable to put it right in the middle at 3. You can make a case for 3.5. You can make a case for 2.5, which means I left it right in the middle at 3. So again, I'm going to rebalance all the coins when I'm done with ALTCOINopoly, and that's a project for August. But for today, as it stands, NEO gets a rating of 3 out of 5.
And there we have it. It's right in the middle. I could see it being higher. I could see it being lower. So that means it's probably a good rating because I can make the argument to go higher or lower. So the truth probably lies in between. So the 3 out of 5 makes sense. So NEO gets a 3 out of 5 for me. It's the Chinese Ethereum. It gets exposure to the Asian market, which is good, but it's China, which is, that's not normally considered very good at all. But it's an exposure to an Asian market, a big part of the globe, a big part of the population. And from what I understand, there's lots of people in China that are buying up this coin with the idea that it's going to be going up much, much higher as things get rolling in the decentralized space in cryptocurrency in China. That's inevitable over there. So I like the team. I like the platform. I like the direction where it's going. I think it's underrated right now. I think it's a good acquisition spot, not financial advice, of course, but I think it's certainly deserving of a space on the board. It's a strong platform. It's exposure to a marketplace that's hard to reach, and it's well worth consideration for an altcoin portfolio should you desire to go in that direction. So that's about where we are on this coin. Lots of information in this video today. I'm going to close the drawer in the bureau, and I'll see you next time.